My hero isn't a perfect person. She's endured hardships that few could relate to. She's made many mistakes in her life, and some may have judged her based on those mistakes. My hero is my mother. My mother left behind 3 children in the Philippines when she married and moved away to the United States with my father. While some may think she was being irresponsible, she actually made a huge sacrifice. She knew that the best way to provide for her children, her 7 siblings, and her mother would be to move away. Her move allowed her to provide financial assistance to her loved ones, and that would have been a struggle had she stayed. After arriving in the United States, my mom found herself very lonely. She spoke little English, didn't have any friends, and she questioned her decision to leave her family in the Philippines. A few months later, my mom found herself not only lonely, but also pregnant. This is when I came into the picture. Growing up, my mother and I had a very close relationship. It wasn't until I was much older that I realized that I was all that my mom had. She missed the children she left behind, and I was there to receive all the affection she had to give. She told me about my sisters in the Philippines, but photographs were all that I had to relate to. When I was 9 years old, we had the opportunity to visit the Philippines. It was the first time my mom was able to go back and visit her family. That was the first time I realized how much pain my mom went through, being so far away from her daughters. I watched her sob as she hugged each of my sisters tightly. It confused me to see her cry and smile at the same time. She couldn't keep from touching them. She held their hands, touched their legs, stroked their faces. I felt jealous that I would have to share my mom with these girls. After a short week, we had to return home. As an adolescent, I craved independence. I wanted to run around with my friends and do what normal teens do. However, the more I pulled away, the tighter my mom held on to me. Although I disliked it at the time, she kept me out of trouble. My sisters are all grown up now. They are no longer in the Philippines and have families of their own. However, my mother still has a responsibility to take care of her family. She has 7 siblings, and her mother is still to think of. Her siblings have children, and their children have children. When there is a need or an emergency, my mother is the one they turn to. She works hard to provide for her family. My mother is the most generous person I know. She isn't a perfect mother, but she's a really good one. Now that I have my own child, I can appreciate the woman that my mother is and the sacrifices she's made. I can only hope to be as good of a mother to my son as she was to me. My hero